So I made a video like this about the Apple Watch, about how to get the most out of it and how to set it up and how I like to set it up. And now it's the Garmin's turn. This is how I get the most out of my Garmin and how I set it up for optimum use. And hey, if you're new around here, welcome. If you like being intentional with your technology, then you're in the right place. Be sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you around. Okay, connected up to the phone. What we're gonna do here is just change a few settings out of the box that I find to be annoying. And I like to go through the settings app on the phone instead of going through the watch itself because it's a little just more finicky to do it on the watch and the phone is nice and quick. And so the first thing I do is go into notifications and alerts and I go to smart notifications. And then you have two options, general use or during activity. So general use is like you're just wearing the watch, you're not doing anything crazy, you're not running an activity. So calls, I want to vibrate me. I can also turn on a tone. And then texts, I have turned that off. This would be like all of your text messages coming through. You can turn that on if you'd like, and then you can do it for a tone or vibrate. I just leave it off. I don't need to get buzzed of text messages. And then apps, this is going to be everything else. So this is going to be Facebook Messenger. This is going to be WhatsApp, emails, anything that is going to send a notification to your phone will just get routed through to the watch. I always turn that off as well. And then I leave everything else on by default. If I go back and then during activity, I just mirror the same thing. It's essentially the same menu. You know, it's just asking, do you want to silence phone calls or text messages during an activity? And I keep it set to the same settings. And so I'm only going to get buzzed for a phone call on this. I don't get buzzed for text messages, but I still have the ability to jump up and view my text messages through my notifications on the watch as well. And so that's pretty neat. If we go all the way back out here to the main menu, Garmin Pay, I don't really use that too much, but you can set that up if you'd like to or not. Activities and apps, this is something that you'll want to get all of your different activities that you do pulled in. And so you just add them and tap them and you can edit and rearrange and do with you what you will on that. Again, that's just going to be up to you. You can also dive into each activity type. So if I go into hike here, I can edit the different data screens that I have. I can edit basically anything I could ever think of. And so that is also pretty neat. Like you can go do that for every single activity type. I mostly leave everything just in the default state. This is just some of the basic stuff that I changed to be able to use the watch without driving myself crazy. Under the appearance tab next, watch face is modified on the watch itself. We'll get to that in a minute. Glances, this is like where you navigate up and down from the watch face. So you can see what information are you going to scroll through. For me, this is kind of the way I have it set up. It's like, picture your watch face is like down here, or picture it's like up there. So from your watch, if I scroll down, weather is first, solar intensity second. But if I go back to the watch face and I start scrolling up, notifications are at the bottom, calendar's next. And so you kind of can get to it from both different sides. And that's the way I have it set up, that if I go down, I can see weather related information before I start getting into health and body stuff. And then if I go up, I see phone related information like notifications, calendar, and then I can get into my altimeter and then training readiness, sleep score, stuff like that. And the way you do this is you just hit edit. Oops, you hit edit up there, and then you can add any of these things into that menu. This is just how I have mine at the moment. I actually need to clean it up a bit because you can see you can add folders here. And so I like to have like a health folder and a training folder so I can put even more data and just different points inside of there without having to scroll through this big lengthy menu. But that's how I have mine set up right now, just to be able to see what I need at a glance. And if we go back and go down to controls, this is where you hold the light button up at the top left, and you get to cycle through all these quick controls that give you just controls basically to the watch. And so I have mine simplified just to be able to turn it off. I can ping my phone, find my phone if I lose it. I can turn on battery saver mode, access my music controls real quick, activate like a strobe mode, turn off connection to my phone, activate stealth mode because it's a tactical watch, and then activate my wallet. And then you can also plug in any of these things as well. I have found that less is more, and I don't want to have all of that. These are just the things that I use the most. And then last is morning report in this menu. I actually don't know why that's off. I like to keep that on, and I can see just some basic information that it will show me in the morning after I wake up, after I've slept with the watch. And so that is kind of nice. That was under the appearance tab. again, under appearance is watch face, and you can't modify it from the phone. You have to modify it from the watch. And so if I hold the up or the middle button there, then I get into watch face. And then I have the ability to cycle through the different watch faces. These are just some of the ones I've built and have set up, but I'll quickly cycle through all of them on the watch here that are available. Quite a few native options. And then you can also invert the colors for any of them as well. And so if I go back to, like, this is the one I use right now, I can switch the color to be white or black background, depending on what you want. And then under the data screens, you can make these to be anything you want. I like to have the date be in that little date window. I don't know why, it's just the way my brain works, but you can make it anything. And then for this particular one, there's a graph on the top, and so your options are a little limited. I'll flip back and forth between the elevation graph or just the solar one with the battery right now, because it kind of gives me two different points there. And then again, I like to see my elevation down here, and then just the current temperature right now. And that's all I need to see. Some of the watch faces give you more fields for more data faces, so you can put like body battery or training status or different metrics that you can see at a glance, or your live heart rate. To me, I don't really care about seeing that data on demand. This is just all I would want to see at a moment's glance. Jumping back over here into the phone, I don't really do much with sensors and accessories. I mean, you can see your different, like, you can set up for different abnormal heart rate alerts. So I can set that on like high or low, and this is like, it will notify you if you're just doing nothing. And then you can also broadcast it to different like chest straps or other apps or devices. Your pulse ox mode, this is going to actually impact your battery a lot. And so if you just turn it to manual check, it will drastically impact your battery. So I'm at 35 days now with turning that off to manual check. But if I put it to only check during sleep, now I'm at 25 days. I lost 10 days worth of battery just having that going overnight. And then if I have it checking all day, 16 days of battery. And so this is probably one of the biggest factors to determine your battery life, is how much is that sensor running. And it really only works when your body is still anyway. And so sleep is really the way it makes the most sense, unless you're going to do it manually. So I just leave it on during sleep, and I still get almost a month's worth of battery. I'm happy with that. And then going in through the rest of the settings, you know, you have your compass, your altimeter, your barometer. I recommend calibrating that for wherever you're at. Under map here, again, this Instinct does not have full-fledged mapping, but it has breadcrumb mapping, and it has the ability to backtrack, and you could load GPX routes. And so you do see some mapping in it. I just kind of leave all this as default. I don't really need to mess with that. Connectivity, if you're ever between phones or connecting to Garmin Share to another Garmin, that's where you would do that. Under user profile, just make sure your health data is accurate and up to date so it knows how to read you properly. Here under health and wellness, if we go and we can change different alerts, I have pretty much all my stuff turned off because it would buzz me if I like walked up a certain number of staircases and met my step goal for the day. Like, I don't need to know any of that. I don't want to get buzzed of any of that. And so I turn all of that off. Move IQ is more like it will automatically detect a workout and log it as a workout if I'm doing like familiar activity like biking or running or something. You'll find that a lot of the menus kind of overlap, like things are found in more than one place. So if we go into this pulse ox mode, there's those settings again. If we go into heart rate, there's those settings again. And so a lot of that can get confusing when you have that in multiple different places. If we go into safety, actually I skipped over that one. Incident detection, I like to leave that all turned on so that if you crash on your bike, it will notify your emergency contacts. And then when you go under here, under safety features, this is where you can actually set up your emergency contacts, and they get notified and have to accept that they're your emergency contact. And so when you start an exercise, like a run or something, it starts a live track and sends this person an email with your live information and your live location as it's moving on the map. Your watch is able to do that through satellite. And so if you have an incident, if you get injured or something, your emergency contact can know exactly where you're at and what occurred and when. And so that's kind of helpful to have that built in as well. So I just leave that all on and have my wife get notified of that. And then this is where you can fill out that emergency contacts information. It basically takes you to the same menu. Their menu system's a little convoluted, but once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. And it's the exact same on the watch. You know, if we hold our settings here and we go down into settings, it pretty much mirrors the same menu system on the watch as it does the phone. And so that's at least a little helpful. And under power manager here, if we let this load for a second, this is where you can, you know, see your battery percentage if you wanted that, or just an estimate. I really don't mess with this too much. Battery saver mode, you can change what that does with the watch, how much it's reading or whatnot. I do like the amount of flexibility that they give you. You know, you get an alert at 2 days. You can really change just about everything with this watch. You can even set up different power modes depending on how you want to use it or what you want it to be doing at certain times. Like if you want to wear it outside of your jacket because it's cold, like it doesn't need to be gathering heart rate data. It's just more of a GPS at that point. And so cool things like that you can mess with. If we dive here into system, this is kind of like the next deep menu system, so bear with me. The thing I change next is backlight. If we open that up, again, it's similar to notifications where you can change it, during activity, general use, or sleep. And so during activity, I like the backlight to stay on with gesture. And so if I raise my wrist, it will brighten up and so I can see it. But for general use, I leave that setting off because I just don't need it lighting up all the time. Whenever I move my wrist, I just hit the button. If I ever need to see it in the dark, like I can read this screen pretty much all the time, every time. If I had more of like an OLED or a different type of watch, then maybe I'd utilize that setting. And then during sleep, same thing, you can just set your different settings. The night vision on this one in particular, because it doesn't have like a red filter like some of the OLED watches do, is just that it keeps the backlight from turning on when you use it. And so that's just a quick toggle to be able to do that, which is handy if you needed it. Under satellites, I just leave it to auto select. Like it's smart enough to know if I have a clear view of the sky, it doesn't need to work harder to find a satellite connection, versus if I'm like in a mountain or have hills around me, then it needs to utilize multiple frequencies to get those satellites. Sound and vibe, I mean, you can turn on keytones if you want, vibration, whatever. I just leave all that off. And you can even change that to happen like during activity, like alert tones. I actually want to leave that off because it'll like beep at me during an activity and I don't like that. And again, you can change your different settings for sleep mode, for do not disturb. Definitely turn on do not disturb while sleeping. You can turn on your battery saver while sleeping, but then it won't read as much heart rate information. You can have do not disturb settings depending on how you want that to behave. And so now we get into hotkeys. This is part of the big value of Garmin is you get shortcut keys. And so when I hold my GPS button, it opens up to the navigation. And so I can do my saved courses or see different activities or run different coordinates or whatever. So it's kind of like the mapping system. If I hold back, this allows me to set a timer or a stopwatch or set an alarm or something. I use this quite often. If I hold down, I get my altimeter, my barometer, and my compass. Just again, different tools. If I hold GPS and down, this activates my sleep mode. And so I manually will do that every day. Turn that off. If I hold GPS and up, it locks my device. So now the keys don't work. Buttons can't be pressed. And I can unlock it doing the same combination. If I hold back and light, this turns on do not disturb. I also use this all the time if I don't want to get buzzed. I can simply do that. And then back and up, the middle button are my music controls. So I can quickly just control what's playing on my phone to pause or skip a track or something like that. That's how I have mine set up. But to give you an idea of what you can do, I mean, you can basically set it up to run practically anything that you want out of it. And so that's where I have mine set up. And then if we go back here, the last thing that I just like to check every now and then is the software update, just to make sure it doesn't have anything hung up. Sometimes it'll show updates on the phone when it doesn't on the watch. And so just checking that every now and then is helpful. And that's pretty much it. That's exactly how I set up my watch. That's how I utilize it. Here in the Garmin Connect app, I will also modify these at a glance settings. And so if you go down here to edit home, you can change what's in focus. You can change if you want to see your sleep coach. You can see your events or plans or challenges or whatever, as well as editing what's in focus and whatnot. And so that's just helpful information as well. And if we even go into edit at a glance, you can see all this stuff. You can add more things into there. It's very data heavy. And so picking what you want to see first and foremost is going to be the most practical for you. I just want to see my body battery, my stress levels, my steps, my sleep, my training readiness, my VO2 max, heart rate, and then health status, which is kind of like their vitals that they just released. And that's pretty much it. That's how I set up my Garmin to use. This is going to ensure that I only get buzzed of phone calls. I will sometimes turn on notifications for text messages if I feel like it. But then it just remains a simple tool on my wrist. It's not making any noise. It just buzzes me for the important stuff. It's still that flashlight on the wrist. And I actually utilize, because it's a tactical watch, I will turn on stealth mode before I go to bed. That way it just cuts off everything. I mean, it basically turns it into like a normal Walmart watch, and minus the health readings on it. And so it disconnects Bluetooth and any antenna connectivity to and from my phone. I will do that, and then I will put it onto sleep mode. So if I'm sleeping with the watch, then I know it doesn't have any like Bluetooth interference or anything like that. And so I utilize that quite often. And then I will also just activate stealth mode if I just want to go to a period of like, I don't want to get buzzed for anything. Or I could also turn on do not disturb if I'm just trying to focus and just not get distracted by anything. But then yeah, day to day, how I pretty much use it is just as a watch. I know it's a weird concept, and occasionally I'll jump in and check the weather if I need to know the high or the low or what the weather's going to be tomorrow. That's pretty much it. One thing worth noting here though is, unlike an Apple Watch where it can pull information directly to itself, it needs this app to be open on your phone. And so if you have the app on your phone, that's fine. You just can't have it close out. And so if I like force quit the app, now after like a minute or two, the weather complication will go blank and it's not going to be able to pull the data in. And so that is a little bit weird. That took me a while to figure out, because I'm like, it's still connected to the phone. It just needs that app to be open, at least in the background on your phone. And then if you get too far away, or like 2 or 3 rooms away, or if you go outside, it'll lose connection to your phone. And so as long as the app is open and you're nearby your phone, you will have data. And then I also wanted to mention, because I have this one here, this is the Epix Gen 2. It's pretty much the same exact thing. I mean, watch faces and colors are going to be different, and little things like screen brightness and gesture controls are going to be different, but it's going to be the exact same setup. I set up all my watches the exact same, and so it's going to have the same logic, the same principles applied to it, that pretty much no matter what it is, that is going to be the case. But that's all I've got to show you. That's how I set up a Garmin. Those are the settings that I use. That's how I get the most out of this type of a watch. Let me know what you think of the video, comment, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.